Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tres Jolie channel or my channel, whichever one you're watching this on. I am here working on my third project using this month's cards, tags, and more kit. Some things I have already pre-done because they are just from some dies from my stash. These are Tim Holtz, let me get the proper name there. They are the lantern box. So I cut those out of 3 different pattern papers and have put them together. And I have some tattered pine cones. I think that's what they are. Jumbo tattered pine cones out of some of the pattern paper from the kit. And I have a third one. I haven't put it all the way together yet because I will talk about kind of how I put these two together. But I want to talk about the stands I'm making. And they are just some paper towel, toilet paper rolls. You could use paper towel rolls. They're a little bit, nope, they're about the same size. So you could just use one paper towel roll. And I just picked 3 toilet paper rolls. One I left full size. One I cut in half-ish. I kind of eyeballed it. And then the third one is in between those 2 sizes so that it's staggered. Now I have started putting the paper on, which I'm just using this one right here that's kind of looks like just some canvas or well, not really burlap, just some fabric print. It goes with the doilies that I have that I had cut out in my second project, my second cards, tags, and more project. So the one that was up just last week, but I never used. What one was that? The cards. Yeah, the cards. The 2 little fall cards. And that was with that classic doily die that came in September's kit this year. Okay, so here I am. And this one, I kind of did the hard way. I took my full length of paper and wrapped it around and then trimmed off where the seam was going to be. And then I took one of the other ones and I just trimmed off. See, this one will be here for here. So then I just trimmed off, and that's what I did here. Using that as a guide to make the next 2 easier, and trimmed off the excess. There you go. So now I have my next 2 wraps. And this is some 1 inch, maybe it's 1 1/4 inch double-sided tape. And I'm just putting a piece down. Here, I'll do this long one, or this full-size one, just because it's a little bit easier to work with right now. So I can talk about it at the same time. And I put it down like so, where those seams will overlap. or will come together. I should say they don't really overlap, they come together. And trimmed it. And I think with this one being full length, I am going to add just a little bit extra to help hold it in place while the collage medium sets up. If I can get this peeled off here. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of run this around the center real quick. Just like that. There. And that's just to help hold it while my glue dries. And so then, after I have my double-sided tape on, this is the Distress Collage Medium that came in the September Mixed Media Kit, and I just squirted out some onto my mat here. And I'm using a Finnabair silicone brush, the 1-inch brush, just because of cleanup. You can use anything, a regular paintbrush, one of those palette knives that came in the September Mixed Media Kit. But this I'm just doing because I like cleaning these up a lot better. So I'm just going to spread this on. I'm not worried about evenness or thickness, just as long as there is collage medium everywhere between the toilet paper roll and the paper. Alright, and then I just grabbed up the sheet, or the piece I was using, and lined it up on one edge and kind of centered on that strip of double-sided tape. And pushed it down. And this double-sided tape that goes this way, that was to keep this from sliding around as I worked it. If you don't have double-sided tape, you can do it with just some glue between the two. I just did it this way to make it a little bit easier. But if you don't have double-sided tape, you could line it up and probably get just some clips. If you have some binder clips, paper clips, to hold it in place while you worked it. So I'm just going to very carefully work it around, keeping my edge lined up. Until I get back around to the other side, and then kind of pull it into place. If you have a gap, it's not really going to make a big difference because the seams are going to be facing each other, so they won't be seen anyhow. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to set these off to dry. finish putting this one together and then set it off to dry. And after those have set up at least part way, then I will come back to work on the next step. Alright, these are not attached yet. I was just setting things up, seeing how it all worked. I am going to first talk about the lantern boxes. Now what I did was I put them together just to make sure that it was all squared up, and then I took them back apart after that edge, the glue on this edge here had dried, and just came in and trimmed the flaps off so I could just pop them over. They fit right over these little flameless tea lights that I have here. And then this is for my stash, and this is the Magic Potion effect paste. If you look, it kind of has a purplish hue to it, which I do like because there are some purples in this paper pack. You can see them, some bluish and some purples. And I'm just adding a little bit. Let's see if it'll focus instead of trying to focus through the windows. Adding a little bit, there you go, around those windows. I'll do one side, and after it's dry I'm going to turn it over and do the other side. And I just kind of spread it on like so, not really worrying about being even. Alright, so while those are sitting drying, I'm going to talk about how I did my little pine cones here. I kind of pre-shaped it. I just wrap it around a paintbrush just to get it already kind of going the direction I want it to. And then this bottom here, I just overlapped just a little bit and dropped in some hot glue just to hold it together. And I really kind of work with it. I have a low heat hot glue gun. The glue will dry fast or cool off faster that way. And I tend to burn myself anytime I get near a full heat, high heat hot glue gun, anytime. So I use a low heat glue gun. And then I kind of just stick it in places, just let it fall into places like that, because I kind of use it as a support, as layers, as spacers. So then, because it's a low heat, I'm able to kind of hold on to the paper easier, and I can twist it as that glue dries or cools, and shape it how I want it. And that glue just kind of stretches out and adds a space to it, or space between the layers, and it adds a little bit of stability. And I just kind of keep fiddling with it, twisting as I go, pulling it up to give it that longer shape there. Tweezers work well for getting a hold of that center, so you can twist it just a little bit tighter. And that's just how I do it. Some low heat hot glue and just a little bit of working until the glue dries or cools. Just like that. And then after that glue is all set, I just really grab I just use my, actually I think I just use my fingers, or you can get a thinner paintbrush handle, and I just kind of shape the ends a little bit like that after everything is set up how I want it. And so after this one's all set, I'll work on these two. I'm going to add some of this unicorn or magic potion effect paste to the edges of my pine cones as well, just to kind of make it a cohesive unit here. Alright, well, these are still drying. I am going to kind of break up the stands with some more of a purple color. Now, in this month's mixed media kit, there is the 3-pack of these rust effect pastes, the royal blue, burnt sienna, and some lavender. And I am going to use the lavender. Not like how it is. I really just kind of want a little bit of color. So I'm going to get some out, and I'm going to water it down so that it's not super thick. And just like that. And I'm going to just add it to the top of my stands. Just like so. Nothing heavy, nothing very textury. I'm using it more like a heavy paint than anything. And I'm just going to do that to the tops of all three. And that's just because I really kind of wanted to break up between the little doily and the stand, so that it's kind of like that. Alright, I have lit these dry. Everything's about ready, and don't mind my purple fingers. I decided to make some labels for the new Villainous Potion. If you're wondering, that's what color Villainous Potion is. Anyhow, so I'm just going to kind of talk about where I'm at. On my handles, I just glued the two sides together like that with some quick dry glue so I could just make sure it was lined up in place and get it together like that. And then for my little doilies here, I just put them down and I used my hot glue gun again to run a circle around the edge here. And then I set this down in it. And that one I was a little off on. Should have done it the other way. Run my glue along the top edge. Like so. And then stick it down. That's actually what I did on the other ones. I have a cat back here and he was distracting me because I thought he wanted to climb up where I was working. There we go. So I just put those in place and I set it like this to keep the doily on relatively flat. And I kept thinking, I thought about cutting a sheet of paper in a circle, one of the other sheets. I thought about maybe patching one together, but I kind of ended up not wanting to do that because I have so many different pattern papers going on already. So I grabbed up some of these fibers. Hold on, gotta let a cat out. Now he's decided he wants out. Okay, I grabbed up these fibers. There were some in last month's mixed media kit. So I'm just I'm leaving them natural. I'm not going to add any color to them. And I'm just going to use my hot glue to adhere them onto my little pillars. Kind of keeping my seams turned in towards the center. I'm going like this. And this one should be ready. So I'm kind of just working on my placement right now. There. Because I'm going to go just kind of like that. And then I have my pine cones here that I'm going to kind of figure out how I want them in here as well. Like so. Kind of work them around like this. And I think that's what I am going to be doing. Kind of just getting my hot glue and putting them together. I'm going to get these out of my way. And I'm working on my non-stick surface so the hot glue will peel up. Or, actually this will be easier for me. This is just a little silicone pad. I use it under my hot glue gun when it's off to the side. And actually, I think I will use that. I'll try to put it a little over that reflection. There we go. So that's what I'm going to do. And I am just going to kind of make a big old glob of glue and start sticking things down, and then that way after that glue has cooled down, I can just peel it off of my mat. Alright, and for some final touches, I'm just going to grab a little bit of these fibers here and put them in between with some more hot glue that I'm just going to kind of plop down in there and hope for the best. And I was thinking, I think that what I would put this on for a display would be like one of those rough cut slabs of wood. I think that would be ideal for this, at least in my opinion. It's neutral, but it still kind of goes with a rustic look. That's what I came up with. I don't have one on hand, so I can't really demonstrate it, but I thought I'd throw it out there. I also, before I finish up here, because I used this effect paste on here, if you don't have effect paste or you don't want to use it, but you still want some shine, you could easily brush on some kind of glue collage medium and use some glitter, little glitter, big glitter, chunky glitter. You could leave it plain if you don't like the sparkles. Nothing is set in stone here. So now I'm not going to pull this off here yet because I don't think that all that glue is dry. The final thing is just to drop on some lights. I'm not going to turn them on right now. Like so. And then you can put your little lanterns just right on top of those Tealights and have a little bit of some fall decor with some cute little lanterns. I will have pictures up on the blog of the different angles of this. Thank you for joining me here today. I hope that this project gave you some ideas of what can be done using items found in this month's Cards, Tags, and More kit, and one of those pastes, texture pastes, that is in this month's mixed media kit. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you will always be informed when new projects are up or the reveal video comes up at the beginning of the month. Thank you, and I will see you again next month.